the East Christchurch Water Sports Community Trust, David Goodman. Hi.
Hi there, thank you. So yes, my name's David Goodman, Chair of the East Christchurch Water Sports Community Trust. We've made a written submission. The reason we're here today is the Trust is concerned about the east of Christchurch and the revitalisation of the east and the use of that land that's obviously is owned by the Crown and what to do next. The Trust is promoting a project to act as a community asset, amenity for Christchurch people of the east, and also a flat water sports facility in one. You've had that picture, I think, distributed. It's a very high-level indicative picture, but it's just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. The lake will be to the left of the river. It won't connect with the river because of different water quality issues. We're looking to avoid going near Porritt Park, ideally. It'll be 2.2 kilometres long, so it can be an international rowing course, but also waka ama, cable boarding, all sports, P-class, picnic area, cycleway, reserve, somewhere you can take the family. It's open to the public. It's a community asset, something that we feel the East and Christchurch deserve. So the nub of our submission is there's $6.3 million tagged in your plan for a aspirational project to help with the recovery of the East. And our simple submission is leave that money there. We're not asking you for money yet, but at some point we'll come to you, and I think it's very important that I know that money is tight, but that sum of money is left there, because there'll be us and there'll be other projects, no doubt, that are looking to do good things out there. And that's it.
We've got questions. Tim and then Paul.
Thank you, David. Have you been talking to other sporting bodies with regards to this project? Because you mentioned that right across the board it should be a community facility.
Yes, certainly. So there are a number of the trustees. We've got a broad range of trustees in terms of their professional skills, but also Julian Falloon, who's CEO of Sport Canterbury, is trustee, and he represents the sporting component. And we have people like Peter Beck who represent, the community component. But in terms of sporting community, sport component, Julian is a conduit to Jerry Dwyer, who's chairman of New Zealand Rowing, the likes of Ian Fox, who's used Whitewater. So we're connected through all the sport through Julian Falloon. But it was felt appropriate just to have Julian as a trustee representing all sport, because it's not just about rowing or sport, it's about a community project of which will involve a number of activities and sports.
Just one more question.
Yep.
I was recently in New York, and at the end of the Manhattan Island, there's like Harlem, etc., and there's a rowing club there with one of the universities.
Yes.
And a movie star, I cannot remember the name, has now set up an academy for kids in Harlem to start rowing.
Yes.
And so I'm just wondering, are there going to be any of those types of things for all kids across Christchurch?
Yes, one of the, I guess, part of our vision is a lake for Christchurch, whānau and young people and visitors. So one of the key focus is young people, and within that is one of our aspirations that those schools, lower decile schools that are not actively involved in what is sometimes perceived as elite sports like rowing, get involved. So that the Maori Haas, the Linwood High Schools, Shirley, which already has a rowing club, they get involved, and it's a good sporting amenity for them to assist with the revitalisation of the area. So that's very much in our thinking.
Paul.
Wow, do you guys have any idea what that would cost to actually build?
That was my question.
Yes. Well, the budget for the Lady Isaac Lake was 10 million. This one.
That was years ago.
That was years ago. This one will be a lot more because of the geotechnic. So, digging the hole is about $4 a cubic metre. You're looking at 8 million. Sorry, you're looking at sort of 2 million cubic metres. You're looking at about 8 million to dig the hole. But the real issue is the engineering around that. So it needs to be very resilient. So that is the unknown, and we don't know that until we've done all the engineering and design. So unfortunately, it's chicken and egg. To get to an accurate costing, you'd have to spend sort of a considerable sum in design and engineering. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg, and we don't feel we can spend that money until we have a mandate from the people of Christchurch. So we're waiting for the red zone consultation. Once there's the red zone consultation, we'll go out with the idea. If people are keen on the idea, then we can say, well, look, it's worth pursuing further. But the answer to that...
That's actually that, though.
So I don't want to sort of pluck a finger out,
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not just the capital cost, it's the ongoing operating
Yes, I
cost
know.
as well.
Well, the ongoing
and
operating
who
cost...
would pay that? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's a lake in Perth and, where a lot of preliminary work identified some of the costings, but they never factored in how much it was going to cost to keep clean.
Right.
Ducks tend to land on the water.
Ideally, the landscaping will, be such that you don't attract those sort of wildlife. But the costs of running a water facility like that are
Sorry,
information.
a big body of water won't attract ducks and geese?
Well, it depends on if you have lots of grass, it will. But if you have less grass, then it won't. I mean, it's an issue about the landscaping as the type of birds you attract. But to answer your question, water bodies are less costly to run than parks. So, Central Park in New York can cost $30 million a year to run. How much does Hagley Park cost to run annually? Millions. Karapiro, the budget with Karapiro, it makes a loss. It has revenue expenses, but I understand if you look at the Waipao district plan that the loss is about $500,000 a year. So I would put it to you that actually it would be less expensive than if it was a big park.
But it's
To
also,
run.
also the amount of money that we've put on the budget is just a drop in the ocean, just to use a phrase.
Well, the funding will come from the Crown, charities, a whole range of issues.
The Crown has got no money on budget for the residential red zone.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Glenn. No, I was thinking of a name for the lake, that's all.
Thank you, David.
Began with B.
Thank you, David, and thank you for coming to our community board. I think obviously you see this as quite important as coming from the community. I mean, I see it as a way to potentially unite the city, the different schools.
Absolutely. Peter Bear, Chrissy Williams, constantly sort of their refrain is this needs to come from the community. You can't be seen to sort of impose this idea on them. You've got to take the community with you. And so we've spoken to your board, which is the tip of the community. Avon Otakaru Network, Evan was in here before. Eastern Vision, which Leanne's involved in as well. So. We're in constant communication. But there's an awful lot more consultation to do. But it's again, how much work you do before your idea has support. So, we see the red zone consultation as pivotal to getting that necessary mandate. If the general reaction to the red zone consultation is yes, this is a good idea, yes, it's expensive, but we should look at it further, then we'll pursue it. If they say no, we want a golf course, well then fine.
Residents associations want to keep talking about it too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's certainly sparked up a lot of interest. Phil?
Just from the questions we're asking, is it at a stage where it's already had a pre-feasibility study, or is that something perhaps that you might like council to consider supporting?
Very good question. So it hasn't had pre-feasibility. Pre-feasibility in itself is several $100,000. It's Craig Price from Becker is on our trust. We've had workshops with various engineering firms to establish a high-level briefing document focusing on key issues such as resilience to a seismic event, groundwater levels, hydraulic supply from aquifers, water quality issues, the whole range to understand the key issues. But to actually then get to the bottom of it, do pre-feasibility is a substantial cost, and we don't have the funds for that. Again, it's chicken and egg. How much do you spend before you know the idea is a flyer?
Yeah, some of us did actually suggest that might be a useful input that Sarah could make now, is to actually resource some of the pre-feasibility stuff, because the last thing you want to do is have a community engagement about something that's just going to let them down because it can't be done. So.
Oh, look, I think it's a very good point. It's something we're painfully aware, and we would love Sarah to do that, but their constant refrain is we can't be seen to actively supporting one project ahead of another.
Well, it's not. Well, it wasn't the only project that I suggested. I actually sort of said, well, look, isn't it better before you start a consultation process, which is going to there's no point starting from share an idea and starting from scratch.
I
If
agree.
people are going to have their expectations raised and they're going to look at this and they're going to go, that is what my vision is.
Yes.
You know, and then you find out that it's just too expensive or it can't be done or, you know, I'd much rather that and it's not committing anyone to favouring any project, it's actually just working out whether it can be done.
I couldn't agree more, and it's something we lose sleep over. We need to sell the idea,
Yep.
but then in doing so, we create an expectation to answer questions we don't have the money to answer. So, if council was prepared to assist us in that regard, that would be fantastic.
There is nothing worse than dashed expectations.
Yes, something we're very aware of. So
So are we.
so your suggestion is very, very helpful.
Okay, well, we will raise that again because I think it is worth investing a bit of money at this early stage while we're still, because we're not ready to go to a consultation yet. There are a number of things to do, but one of the things that needs to be done is for a full analysis of our, you know, sort of stormwater needs and all of those sorts of things. So there is still, as I say, a lot of water to go under the bridge before we get to that point of consultation. But anyway, look, thank you so much, and you know, I'm sure that I'll have support from colleagues for making that approach again. Yeah.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Right, Simon Cruikshank from the Ministry of Education.
Good afternoon. My name is Simon Cruikshank. I'm the